Hello everybody. I've been busy in the past couple of weeks. I've been working a lot of extra shifts because, you know, the whole holiday season with Halloween. And I also had 1 week where my internet went out, so I couldn't, you know, do anything that week. So I've been pretty busy and, you know, dealing with my own fair share of, you know, fucking BS. But I mean, that's fucking life, so it's all good skis. I'm also not gonna be, you know, doing Space Marine campaign anymore. I'm not saying that it's not a good game. I'm just saying that the campaign, you know, isn't that really enjoyable to play in a video sense. Just because of, you know, it's a hack and slash game, as I said earlier. It is a very big hack and slash. Story's not that, you know, intuitive. It's not a very, you know, story-driven game. It's a very, you know, hey, I can fucking, you know, go around and just fucking slash and kill and fuck people up left and right. And I didn't really enjoy that in a video platform. Just wasn't appealing to me at all. And I mean, I felt like there was a lot of parts that was just fucking boring, and it was just me, you know, just trying to go along with, you know, oh fuck. It was just me just trying to, you know, struggle just to make some kind of, you know, lame joke, or, you know, just trying to, you know, I guess keep the radio silence, you know, as least as possible. So, I'm going to be playing a new game in the coming days. I'm going to keep it under wraps. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after. I mean, it'll probably be, you know, I guess whenever I make a video next, I guess that's when I'll do it. But, where the fuck that guy go? Oh well. But, I think it's going to be a lot more of a story-based game. That's why I'm going to be picking it. I think a lot of games that, you know, have story to it are perfect for videos. Like, for example, like Papers, Please. Papers, Please, believe it or not, you know, say what you want about that game, but that game had story to it. It was funny, and, you know, there was always something different to happen. I guess in the case of, like, Space Marine and fucking L.A. Noire, I mean, L.A. Noire was just like, okay, freaking, here's the crime. Go to this place. Find out what's going on. Oh, you got suspects, cool. Go, you know, apprehend the suspect, interrogate, and it's just a wash and repeat. And it was, to me, it's fucking boring. I mean, I didn't want to fucking play that. I mean, again, not saying that L.A. Noire wasn't a bad game, but it's just, you know, not enjoyable to put it onto a fucking video platform, to me at least. And, it's just, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it, you know, doing that video. And I guess I was getting the same vibes when I was doing the Space Marine, because it was just, you know, go hack up these people and wash and repeat, the same thing. See, the thing is, like, with Papers, Please, is why I enjoyed Papers, Please, was because even though, yeah, it had a very, you know, basic premise to it, it still had a randomness to it, and the randomness had a lot of comedy to it as well. And that's why, like that one, I enjoyed making videos on that one. That game was funny. I mean, if you haven't seen the series for it, go watch it. It's fucking hilarious. It is a fucking hilarious series, and I enjoyed that series. And I feel like, even, like, watching some of the, like, Space Marine videos and the L.A. Noire videos, like, I can even tell in my own voice while watching them, I was just not enjoying making them. And, I mean, I want to, you know, enjoy these videos. And that's why I did it in the first place, because I enjoy making videos. I want to, you know, make people laugh and shit. And I want to make my own fucking self laugh. So, the campaign I'm not going to touch. I might play the multiplayer sometime in the future, but I'm not going to touch the campaign anymore in the sense of making videos. I also wanted to, you know, do this video to discuss some recent events that have been going on, I guess, in the sense of our political situation, and just the ridiculousness of what's been happening. In my opinion, it's fucking just pure insanity on what's been happening with, you know, the whole election, and just how the Democrat Party is in general, just how insane they've just been acting. It's fucking ridiculous. There we go. It's even though I am right-winged, it's still ridiculous that, you know, we can't work together because of this freaking, you know, ridiculousness that's been going on. It's literally just been, you know, childish games that this one party has been pulling. Now, I'm not saying, you know, the Republicans are, you know, completely, you know, pure white, clean as a fucking whistle either. But if you look at them side by side, you could easily tell that, you know, the Democrat Party's been doing a lot more fishier things. And it's been, you know... Oh, jeez, I killed him midair, and that's fucking dope. But it's obvious that the fucking left-wing party in this country has been doing a lot of the insanity. And it's just, you know, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful behavior that the politicians have been doing. And just the rhetoric that they've been pushing has just been insane. So I want to kind of, you know, wind it back to 2016. Now, if you ask any Democrat, they will say 2016 has been the worst year of the millennium by far. All of them up and down will say 2016 was the worst year. Mostly because they'll probably say because Trump got elected. And that's the main reason why. They'll say, oh, Trump got elected, you know, he's fucking Hitler, this, that, and the other. And first off, he was democratically elected in, so can't really, you know, complain about that. You know, that's the game that everyone agreed to play. We agreed to, you know, elect our officials, and, you know, and we had a system. And a lot of them are going to complain about, you know, like, oh, the Electoral College should go away, it's fucking retarded, or this, that, and the other. And to be honest with you, I disagree with them. I don't think the Electoral College should go away. I think our founding fathers, you know, had that pretty, you know, down pat and correct. But I'll leave that argument for another day. But I'll go into kind of like as to reasons as to why I think Hillary lost the election. So just for context, for people, you know, who might not have understood that much, or might not understand, you know, I guess somewhat of the history of the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party used to originally be for the party for, you know, the working class man, you know, the man who, you know, has like kind of a union job, you know, in the factories, or, you know, a mill, or something like that, some kind of, you know, trade of that sort, of just, you know, working in those kind of union-based jobs. That's who, you know, the Democratic Party appealed to. And a lot of those people reside in, you know, the Midwest, which, for people who don't know what that defines, that's basically everyone from, like, east of all the, or the west of all the coastal states, like the original 13 colonies, like Ohio, and, you know, everyone going south from that, to about where, like, Nebraska is. So that's usually what the Midwest is, and, you know, a lot of their votes came from that area. They, you know, appealed to those people. They appealed to those union workers. The party has been, you know, a pretty pro-union stance about its whole existence. And with this rhetoric that I've mentioned earlier, I don't remember if I, you know, went too detailed about it, but it's basically just been painting white men as evil. We need to, you know, help out all the other races, and basically white people are to blame for everything. Which, first off, my opinion to that is completely wrong. It's not all white people's fault as to why things are going the way things are going. I could, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to jump down to, you know, try and explain that. But I can guarantee and say this, you know, confidently, that that's not the reason why our country's failing. It's a little bit, could you say Hitlerian to say something like that? You know, just go back to 1930. And, yeah, the whole, you know, race blame game, well, you just, you know, look at World War II Germany, you know, you'll see how that, you know, went for them. But, as I was saying, this rhetoric that they've been pushing has not been aligning with what their previous voters are. A lot of those union workers in the Midwest are white, and the people that they've been appealing to have not been that that demographic. Like, for example, like, I think the amount of African Americans that are living in the United States, I think, is about like 13 to like 15%. And I think Latinos, ooh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's like, I don't think their number is much higher than that. Or it's like around that. So you're going for anywhere from 25 to like 30% of the population, which basically white people make up the rest of that. I mean, Asians are kind of, you know, like, are pretty small, or for sure smaller than those numbers. But you're going for a demographic that, you know, is very tiny, and it's going away from their original voter base. Mostly because they've just painted all of those individuals as basically, you know, the next Hitler and the next Nazis. You know, again, that same kind of identity politic is Hitlerian in of itself, and it's disgraceful that, you know, one of our political parties decided to take that, and ones who do not pay attention to history are doomed to repeat it, and they are for sure repeating it with this kind of, you know, rhetoric they're pushing. So I feel that's why they lost the election in 2016. They basically said, oh hey, white guys, you're all fucking evil, you're all fucking Hitler, you're all fucking Satan, this, that, and the other, you don't belong, we don't want you anymore, get out, basically. They basically, you know, push this whole we don't want white people. Now, I'm not trying to say anything bad about, you know, blacks or Hispanics or anything like that, but when you just latch on to a race or a demographic, that's not a very healthy thing to do, as I've already, you know, said with the whole, you know, history repeating itself. So, a lot of those Midwestern, you know, peoples in those states obviously voted for Trump. He's not calling us evil. He's not, you know, he's not painting us bad. You know, he's a businessman, so he'll probably help our, you know, help us, you know, keep our jobs in a sense. So they went with Trump. It's the logical choice if someone's in that kind of shoes. Pick Trump. Business, not calling me fucking spawn of Satan. Obviously gonna go for this choice. And since then, the Democrats didn't, you know, stop and be like, oh hey, that's a wrong choice, maybe we should, you know, stop this. They just fucking doubled down and just said, you know what, we're fucking, you know, gonna push this to, you know, a different fucking dimension. And it's just been getting worse for them ever since. It's just, you know, it's just not just been good. And I mean, they've been resisting Trump left and right in his presidency with the Mueller investigations and, you know, the Stormy Daniels thing. And there's just also just been all these other micro, you know, fucking micro, Jesus Christ. All these other kind of, you know, small issues and, you know, small scandals that they've just been pushing. And it's fucking ridiculous. They've just been proving, or they've just been ramping up the fucking insanity that they have. And I don't know if they understand that's why they fucking lost. I truthfully don't think they understand that. In my opinion, they lost the Midwest. They did. I mean, if you don't know if I'm gonna have time to, you know, maybe I'll try to edit in a fucking election map if I can. I don't know if I'll have time to, but if you go and you look at an election map, you'll see a lot of those states are red. And could just compare them to other elections. It's insane of just, you know, how some elections, you know, they're one way, and it's like as if, you know, it's a very extreme change. Did I just run off the fucking side? It's an extreme change, yeah. And, again, they've only just been, you know, amplifying this whole rhetoric that lost them the election in the first case. And I know for the previous 2 years we've had, you know, the House and the Senate. But I'll get into the whole midterm election later. I just want to talk about, you know, I guess the most recent scandal that they've pulled was with the whole Kavanaugh. Confirming of Kavanaugh. So, to give some context for people who don't exactly understand what happened with that whole debacle, was Trump was going to say, hey, I want to appoint Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Shortly after that, a woman by the name of Christine Blasey Ford stepped forward and said, hey, I have basically accused him of raping her like 30 years ago. First off, I want to address that and just saying just how fucking ridiculous that is, that 30 years later, you now want to address this rape. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, no, I mean, I've heard of stories like that happening before, but the thing is, though, is that there's way too many coincidences. Literally, right as he's getting appointed, now they come out with this. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe, you know, everyone deserves a trial and, you know, deserves to hear, you know, if a crime is said to them. But the thing is, though, is that, like, that's way too, it was just way too convenient, I guess, just to, oh, now we have this, you know, thing going on. And, when you actually look at, I guess, the witnesses she called up, I think she had, like, 4 witnesses, I want to say. And, like, at least 2 of them, I want to say 3, but I'm just going to go with 2 for now, literally said, we don't even know if this, like, literally said, like, oh, I did not know that even happened. So when you have, you know, I guess, 2 of your witnesses basically going, like, I don't know what happened, then that's obvious, you know, not a good credible witnesses if they don't even know what happened. It's like as if, you know, fucking, I don't know. It's like basically saying aliens exist with no proof. Now, the whole aliens thing, we can go into, you know, that's a whole different other fucking rabbit hole. But basically making a claim that, you know, you have nothing to back up with is just preposterous. I mean, it's literally insane. And how, I guess, they went along with that on just how the Dems were just like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that choice. Is fucking ridiculous to do. It's, again, it goes back to this whole, you know, insanity of the rhetoric and just saying, like, and even when it was going on, they were just like, yeah, this just proves our whole, you know, point of, you know, white males rape and this, that, and the other. And when you come to it, like, majority of the ladies' witnesses didn't even say it happened. And for the 2 or 1 or 2 that, you know, said it might have happened, they didn't even really have, you know, like, full-on good arguments. They were just like, I think actually one of them straight up said that, like, they didn't even know who Kavanaugh was. Like, out of all of her witnesses, there might have been one that, I guess had, like, you know, like, oh, they met and this, that, and the other, but even in her testimony, it didn't even have, like, a whole, like, it didn't have, you know, confirming evidence of the whole crime in the first place. Of just, oh, hey, this was Kavanaugh. Now, I guess I'm going to segue to Blasey Ford for a second, I guess. Now, do I think something happened to her? Possibly. Possibly. I'm not going to say nothing happened to her. I'm not going to say, oh, she's just, you know, making, you know, something up and, you know, just having a nothing burger and trying to have us all eat it. But whatever happened to her, I'm more than convinced Kavanaugh probably had nothing to do with it. It's just on how the whole evidence went up and just the whole convenience of this whole, you know, allegation popping up. It's just all too fishy. It's too fishy for me, you know, kind of sit and believe that. And I'm happy that he got confirmed. Even the guy's not even, you know, like a full, you know, right-winged individual. He's actually more of a centrist, and, like, they still flipped out just because fucking Trump picked him. Again, going to what I said earlier, this whole presidency, the Dems have just been resisting him whatsoever. Literally, the past 8 years when we had Obama, the Republicans, you know, went along with it. They, you know, they said, okay, he's our president, but you know what, we'll support him. And if there's one person on the left that, or who is, you know, a Democrat who I support, you know, who I think, you know, is a good person morally, is Morgan Freeman. When you know, Donald Trump got elected, he said, I mean, you know, I voted for Hillary. I wanted her to be president, but you know what? As he's our president, I'll still support him. And I mean, there's a lot of virtue to that. Literally, the whole party has just been painting Hitler and all, or not Hitler, Trump and all, you know, Trump supporters as Hitler. And he's kind of, you know, gone away from that. And I can respect that, you know. And it's very respectable and commendable on how he's, you know, gone about it. Now, I guess kind of, you know, wrapping up the whole Kavanaugh thing. The guy seems like a decent guy, and I'm really happy for when Lindsey Graham, he's a senator from South Carolina, Republican senator, kind of came out and basically, you know, rebuked all the Dems for, you know, bringing this. And he was completely right. It goes back to my earlier point of, you know, way too convenient. Dianne Feinstein, when she, a senator from California, if you don't know, when she got her hands on the whole, you know, I guess, report of Blasey Ford's claim, they held on to it for 2 weeks. They held on to it for 2 weeks. Like, how do you do that? Like, if something really happened to this person, that's a complete, you know, a disservice to her. If they truthfully had her, you know, well-intentions in mind, wouldn't they have tried to, you know, try and go, you know, carry out the you know, the investigation of it immediately? It's preposterous. Again, as I said earlier, you know, previous Americans wouldn't have done that. I don't think either the Dems 20 years ago or the Republicans would have ever done something like that. Now, of course, somebody's going to be like, oh, but what about the Bill Clinton things? The thing is, those with the Bill Clinton things, though, is that Monica Lewinsky and, you know, the whole, I guess, bunch with that kind of came out, you know, relatively soon about the whole allegations. They didn't wait 30 years just at a convenient point of when, you know, something big was happening. And again, it's insane with the politics that, you know, they've been pulling. I also want to talk about, I guess, some of the identity politics that they've been playing. As I said earlier, no, actually, I've already mentioned it, so why the fuck am I gonna go back to it? I'd just be fucking repeating myself. That'd be fucking retarded. But, yeah, again, it just goes back to the whole, you know, identity politics and the whole rhetoric that they've been pushing. It fits into their narrative on how they want it, and it's just sickening. Now, the recent election that took place was the midterms elections. A lot of Senate spots and a lot of House of Representative spots were I guess they had elections on those. And basically, the left, which is basically the media runs the left in this country, or no, the media is ran by the left in this country. Yeah, got a little tongue-tied. Yeah, tongue-tied there. Yes, thank you. Trying to play a fucking shooter game and, you know, trying to explain complex politics. Well, not too complex, but just politics in general, you know. A little bit difficult. But, they've, so the Democrats basically said, hey, there's going to be a whole blue wave. Basically, all the seats are going to get taken. And it's kind of the same kind of thing that they did with Trump. Basically, the whole media painted that, oh, Trump's going to lose the election to Hillary. Hillary's going to be the first woman president, this, that, and the other. And they said a blue wave was going to happen, and it didn't happen. Basically, they got more seats in the House of Representatives, but, like, and now they have the House, which is, yeah, true, they have the House. But it wasn't, you know, anywhere near as much of, you know, a wave or a blue wave of any kind as they said it was going to be. And then when it came to the Senate, the Republicans gained more spots in the Senate. Like, a lot more spots. So now the Republicans have a lot more, you know, stronger hold on the Senate. And now this puts the Democrats in a very interesting spot, because now with the House of Representatives, if they want to, you know, have any kind of validation to them, or they want to, you know, gain back any of their, you know, I guess credibility, because they've lost it in all of these scandals. They've lost so much credibility in their scandals. Now a lot of people don't even believe them. And now if they want any kind of, I guess, dignity or respect or, you know, dependability to come back to their party, they kind of have to work with Trump now in the House. They have to if they want that. And now I don't think they will. I don't think they are going to work with Trump. I think they're going to keep pushing their rhetoric, because that's just what they've been doing. It's just basically they've been, you know, losing on something, and they've just doubled down on it. So I guess I kind of have a prediction in a sense, is that they're probably going to try to impeach him. They're going to do everything in their power to impeach him. I think they've already talked about possibly impeaching him for just things that, you know, just complete nothing burgers. And I think when 2020 comes, I think the American people are going to see all this ridiculousness again. They're going to be like, okay, the Dems haven't changed at all. And probably again what's going to happen, like this time, a lot of the Midwest is going to, you know, vote for Donald Trump again, because our economy has been picking up tremendously. I even think they're going to lose a lot of the black vote, or the African-American vote. I mean, however you, whatever, you all get what I'm saying. They're going to lose that vote, because if, you know, if someone's actually doing their research, black unemployment rate in the country is at its lowest of all time right now under Trump. Like, I'm sorry, but, you know, anyone, you know, who has half a brain would obviously be like, you know, that's my man, that guy, you know, is getting us more jobs and, you know, is helping us out. And I think a lot of, you know, I guess the African American voters are going to wake up to that and see that and smell the coffee and be like, you know what, Trump is helping us. He's not a racist. He is not, you know, what the Democrats have been saying about him. And I don't know who the left is going to try and put up to go up against Trump. I don't know who. But I've heard rumors, well, not rumors, but I mean, I guess there's been a lot of talk of like, oh, they might have Oprah try to run. Or they might have Kamala Harris, the other senator from California, who's an African-American woman who has, you know, I guess a lot of talent in the field of it. And I feel like, again, they're just going to pull this virtue signaling game, and I don't think they're gonna win it. I really don't. And I mean, even with this past election, they've, on some of the things that they've done, or some of the things that have been happening, it's been ridiculous. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but Florida, Georgia, and I think Arizona are all having recounts in their states. Now, a lot of people, I don't think, know the exact reasons as to why they're doing it, but there's a lot of suspicions of illegal voter, illegal voter fraud, and that's insane. I mean, I've read some, I guess some, what was it? I don't know, like court proceedings on the whole situation of it. But like, there's a lot of like, I guess, Democratic lawyers representing Gillum, who I think was the governor of Florida, who is Democrat. I can't remember the fellow's first name, but I know his last name's Gillum. And yeah, they're trying to represent him, and the judge is just like, these illegal, and when I mean illegal, I mean like illegal immigrants. They got illegal immigrants to vote in their elections, and that's completely fucking immoral. Like, they're not fucking citizens. They don't fucking deserve to vote in that fucking election. So they don't have any fucking, you know, business fucking voting. It's like as if we fucking had China come and vote for us. Vote for our officials. That'd be fucking ridiculous to let that happen. And excuse me. But yeah. Again, and now I think a lot of people, you know, don't know these kinds of things is because the left runs the media, and like Hollywood, they run these things, and there's not a lot of well-known, you know, political outlets for the right wing that, you know, a lot of conservatives know, or people who are in the middle really know, so they kind of just go with whatever CNN or, you know, Vox or Vice or BuzzFeed say. They just go with those people on whatever they say, or even like College Humor. They just go with what they say. And now I don't think College Humor is, you know, the worst of them all. I mean, they kind of go back and forth, but I mean, that fella, fucking, I'm trying to remember that fuck's name. Fat, blonde-haired white dude. Fucking Adam Ruins Everything. I think that's his little fucking show he has. But like, fucking extreme fucking leftist. Extremely on the fucking left. Now, I don't want to, you know, say he's not talented or anything, but a lot of his things that he says is just almost just more or less just opinion-based. And it's just a mouthpiece for, you know, fucking leftist propaganda. Which, you know, again, the word propaganda, you know, goes back to a certain fellow that the Democratic Party doesn't really, you know, like. Who has a very interesting Charlie Chaplin mustache. But other than that, fuck, now I lost my place. What was I thinking about? Yeah, fucking, I don't think they're gonna win the 2020 election. I think that this election, you know, really, if a lot of people, you know, were paying attention, really opened their eyes to what, you know, the left is really all about nowadays. And I think if Trump said he's going to run again, but whoever the Democrats put up against him, I think he's still going to win, because I think a lot of, you know, people who voted for Hillary last time, or who voted, you know, for the Democrats last time, are going to kind of realize that A, the Democrats are the most corrupt out of anybody, and it's just that Trump has been booming our economy so much it's not even funny. So I'm more than, you know, convinced that he's going to win it. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying there might be a civil war that might happen if he gets reelected. I'm not too sure about that. I'll probably do a video on it in the future. But I don't think at this point, if a civil war does happen, I think it would probably happen more in the mid 20s, the mid 2020s. I don't think it would happen right after this re-election, but I mean, who knows? But again, I might do a lot more research into it, and I mean, I'll probably make a video of it somewhere down the line. And yeah, whether next week or the week after, I'll do a new game of some sort. And I have an idea which game I'm gonna play, but I'm gonna keep it under wraps till that time comes. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like. Leave a comment if you have anything you want to talk about in the sense of the points I've made. This is my first, I guess, kind of sit down and talk video I did. So if anyone wants me to talk about any kind of other certain topics, I mean, please hit me up in the comments. Share this to your friends. Share this to people who want I guess who just want any kind of entertainment whatsoever. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you all in the next vid. Peace.